Yes, I've got some good shit to tell you today, brothers and sisters. As I say, we're not gonna bullshit about it. We're gonna tell it just like it is.
Yo, what's going on? Leadership, whether it's black leadership or whatever leadership, right? Whatever type of leadership, right? As a leader, part of being a leader is staying in leadership mode all the time. Okay? All the time. It's not about turning it off. That's why you have a lot of athletes who don't want to be placed in the whole idea of being a leader, being a role model. Not because they're weak, but because they don't want every aspect of their life scrutinized. All right? Kobe Bryant, in my opinion, is a great leader. To me, he has more pros than cons. But what happened with the whole rape case allegation thing, right? People were upset. It didn't take away from his game, in my opinion. Obviously, it didn't. He won a championship last year, right? It didn't really take away from his game, but it took away from how people viewed him, right? It took away from his leadership ability. And it's one of those things that comes with the territory. That's the point I'm trying to get at, I guess, right? So if you want to be a leader, you have to understand that you're going to have your life open up for scrutiny. Not to say that you have to be perfect, but you have to be able to handle it. So therefore, you have to almost always be mindful that people are viewing you as a leader. And you have to try your best to, always act in an upstanding manner, right? Especially in today's world, the camera is always going to be on you. Okay, you can't turn it off at all, right? And I can't, emphasize this more in regards to our black intellectual elite. Like I said, when it's time to sell a book, okay, when it's time for us to watch them on CNN or BET, TV One, or wherever, MSNBC, wherever they want to go, right? When it's time for us, when it's time to watch them at a press conference on all that other good stuff, they want to be leaders, right? We have to follow them. But are these same people willing to have us follow them and look to them for, examples and guidelines when the camera's off, when they're on their everyday, day-to-day grind? Are they? Probably not. That's the problem with Gates. That's where my issue stems from. Now, a couple of people in his defense have said, it was a long flight, people are angry, people are upset, this, that, and the third. Okay, but, why do we all respect and love Malcolm X? Because he always stood firm, right? Our Marcus Garveys and pretty much all these other notable pre- and civil rights activists and leaders. We love them because they stayed a certain way throughout different challenges, right? When racism and oppression were blatant, obvious, in your face, they stood their ground, right? And here we have Henry Louis Gates, who may have been in a racist type situation more secondhand than direct, and look how he acted. But then, and then my biggest thing is then to go on a couple of days later, talk about your situation on CNN as if you came out the hero, right? That's the problem with it. The second the ordeal happened, he's out there talking about it, and it's not going to make sense to most of y'all till later on, right? Till later on when we move a little bit every day. We move further away from the facts, and we move into what we want the story to be. So after a couple of months, when the story gets changed up, we forget certain details, we add certain details, right, to make the story look better in our favor. He's going to come out the hero, the victor. He's going to use this as a victory. He's going to use this as a tool to say, hey, look at me, I'm a leader. When he's ready for us to listen to a lecture, when he's ready for us to buy a book, or when he's on TV, or if he just wants to stroke his ego. And that's the problem. That is the problem, right? I can't stress it enough. It wasn't a victory. If he would have stayed calm, cool, and collective, he would expose the cop for who he is, pure and simple. But because he acted out of pocket, that, my friends, gives us the seeds of doubt that are legit. Now, the cop shouldn't have done it. Had it been a white person who acted the same way, the cop would have probably gave them a stern warning, some citation, or swallowed his pride or left. But because he was black, we think that there's some a little bit of extra energy in the air, an extra element of bravado from Gates and from the cop. But nevertheless, it comes with leadership. That's the problem. You can't say you want to be a leader conditionally. You have to go all the way. That's the point I'm trying to make to you guys. This black intellectual class wants to be viewed as leaders. They want to be viewed as leaders. Right? They want people to follow them. They want people to think how they think. They want us to buy their books. They want us to quote them on all this other good stuff. Right? And in my opinion, the least you can do is try to be on your A game 24/7. Show people that you're a leader in real life, not just on paper, not just academically, not just in terms of career-wise. Right? Show us that you're a leader in real life. And in my opinion, this particular group hasn't really done a good job of it. And now they get a situation where they could actually prove that they embody what they talk about, and it's a flop. It's a flop. It is a flop. And what makes it even more embarrassing is now you have the president involved, right? They're going to the White House, get a beer. The cops still didn't apologize. You have, black men getting killed and beat by police, and you have all sorts of, gray areas in terms of what happened, and the president is not there. And these are everyday people. But now we have somebody who's quote unquote, assimilated into the white world, can't handle this problem, so the president has to step in. But if the cops, kill my buddy or beat me up and I didn't do anything, is Obama going to say anything or do anything? Probably not. But we have somebody who, wants to be a leader, and he couldn't handle it. And, hopefully, like I said, people understand it. And it's probably not going to hit people now. In a year, a couple of months, when we're doing State of the Black Union 2010 or whatever year it's going to be, and they're going to bring up the story, and it's going to be glamorized, and it's going to be hyped up, and all of a sudden Henry Louis Gates is going to turn into somebody who was calm, cool, and collective, and this gun-ho belligerent cop came through and and did all these things. Then it's going to turn into something that it's not. Right? All of a sudden it's going to turn into some heroic story of how the black intellectual elite actually stood up. So you guys will see. Anyways, you guys take it easy. God bless.